So let's get on with our rankings. We are going to reveal for each classification, each division, we're going to reveal the top 10 in our rankings because we feel like you should know. So there you go. So let's start. We'll go 10 to 1. Number 10, the South Lake Carroll Dragons. Coach Riley Dodge enters his second season at the helm after a regional final loss to Duncanville. This is a team that brings back 11 starters total, including R.J. Mickens, who is fantastic. Couple holes to fill, especially who's going to be kind of the bell cow offensively for them with the loss of T.J. McDaniel, but we're very high on the South Lake Carroll Dragons. They clock in at number 10 in our 6A rankings. Number 9, first of many Region 3 teams, the humble Atascocita Eagles. Coach Craig Stumps got something cooking there after a run to a regional semifinal last year where they came up just short to Cy-Fair. This is a team that brings back a lot. They bring back 17 starters overall. I know that Coach Stump is very excited, and he thinks that they've got a chance to make it out of that region. If they make it out of that region, especially in Division 1, then they're going to have a fantastic shot at playing for and winning a state championship. So, humble Atascocita, the Eagles, checking at number 9 in our preseason top 10. Number 8, the Denton Geyer Wildcats, a team that, from the record perspective, is not going to wow you. They were just 6-6 a year ago, but bringing back a lot from last year, including pretty much every one of their playmakers that made a all-district team a year ago. They seem to be getting better as the year went on. We're very bullish on them. We think that this is a team that has breakout potential, especially with their quarterback Eli Stowers and their running back Cager Cobbs. Coach John Walsh knows how to coach him up. Denton Geyer clocks in at number 8 in our preseason 6A top 10. Number 7, speaking of coaches who know their way around a win or two, Austin Westlake checks in at number 7 of our preseason rankings. Of course, a state semifinalist from a year ago suffered a rash of injuries there towards the end. They had eyes on Arlington before Beaumont Westbrook got in the way. We're really high on them. I think that they've got a number of playmakers, especially on the defensive side, that could be really spectacular. That is why Austin Westlake clocks in at number 7 in our preseason top 10 in Class 6A. Number 6, the defending 6A Division II state champion, Longview Lobos. Coming off their first state championship in 81 years, the Lobos will go for back-to-back with one of the best quarterbacks in the state in Haynes King at the helm. I have some questions. I want to know what they do to replace a lot of those guys up front, and they're also going to need some other playmakers, especially at the running back position, to step up. But Longview is no doubt one of the top-tier contenders in Division II. They will start the year number 6 in Dave Campbell's Texas football.
And spoiler alert, this is the highest likely Division II team, so shocking.
Number 5, the Katy Tigers. Coach Gary Joseph is, of course, one of the best coaches in Texas high school football, and we certainly believe that they're going to be back in the mix. It's going to be an interesting year. I would say that their best player may, in fact, be their quarterback, Bronson McClelland, which seems odd, but, of course, he's just going to run back out there and grab a running back off the running back tree that they got out of Katy High School. A number of playmakers. I want to see what that defense does. They do have to replace 7 starters from last year's defense, but it's Gary Joseph we're talking about. It's one of the Katy is a machine. They deserve to be ranked in the top 5, in my opinion. They clock in at number 5 in Dave Campbell's Texas football. Number 4, the Allen Eagles. Allen, 14-1 after what can only be considered a disappointing loss in the state semifinal, which is crazy considering they made a state semifinal. This is a team with a lot of pieces to replace. They lose 10 starters on the defensive side, and in a lot of ways, they lose a lot of the most recognizable pieces from last year's team, especially quarterback Grant Tisdale and wide receiver Theo Weiss. Now, I think this team is going to be really good. And I think running back Selden Manning is going to be back in the mix. They've got a couple of offensive linemen I think that they are very excited about. Allen checks in at number 4 in Dave Campbell's Texas football. Number 3, the Lake Travis Cavaliers. Coach Hank Carter will be at it again after a run to the state semifinals a year ago, and they bring back one of the most talented and decorated quarterbacks in the state in Hudson Card. This is a team that brings back 15 starters from last year's state semifinal team, and you feel like they've got something stuck in their craw, something to prove after last year's state semifinal loss. Lake Travis is the number 3 team in Dave Campbell's Texas football. Now number 2. Number 2, the Duncanville Panthers. The runner-up a year ago brings back one of the best playmakers in the state in Jaquindon Jackson, their quarterback. They also get a terrific addition in the transfer linebacker Kendall Blacksher. This is going to be a team that is going to be back in the mix, no doubt about it. A team with a lot of playmakers, a team that I think wants to prove that last year's state championship game loss was a fluke and that they were, in fact, the best team in the state last year. They're going to have their chance to prove it. They start the year number 2 in Dave Campbell's Texas football, the Duncanville Panthers. Which brings us to number 1. I think you could probably guess it. The number 1 team in Dave Campbell's Texas football to start the year, the Galena Park North Shore Mustangs. The defending, reigning, undisputed 6A Division I state champions from 2018 are back at it, and boy, do they have athletes all over the state. Not only Dave Campbell's Texas football cover boy Zachary Evans, arguably the best prospect in the state, the running back, as well as a terrific junior quarterback in Demetrius Davis and a fantastic receiver in Shadrack Banks. There are questions defensively. This is a team that does lose 8 starters defensively that needs to be replaced. That said, John Kay is one of the very best coaches in the state. I figure they are going to be right back in the mix. The number 1 team in Class 6A to start the year, in Dave Campbell's Texas football, the Galena Park North Shore Mustangs. So there's your top 10. Number 10, Southlake Carroll. Number 9, Humble Atascocita. Number 8, Denton Geyer. Number 7, Austin Westlake. Number 6, Longview. Number 5, Katy. Number 4, Allen. Number 3, Lake Travis. Number 2, Duncanville. And number 1, Galena Park North Shore. Go ahead and address your comments to, I don't know, who should we send? G Power Scout. At G Power Scout. Let him know what you think. All right.
Or just come by the office and argue with Greg for an hour.
Of course, we have the top 50 ranked in Dave Campbell's Texas football. That is just the taste, but there you go. The top 10 of Class 6A for the 2019 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas football.